Give us a sort of a high-level takeaway from this latest report you put out, and in particular, where were the major surprises? I guess we all are aware of the supply chain issues, so what new information did we glean from this report?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me this morning as well. As you said, firstly, we need to remember that record levels of confidence were reported in June across Europe. And while confidence has indeed come down to the lowest levels in the last 12 months, so far we are still in positive territory and we're above pre-COVID levels. However, we are seeing mounting concerns over supply chain constraints as firms anticipate challenges recruiting skilled staff and a shortage of raw materials, as well as rising energy costs causing business expenses to go up. So I think these factors are creating inflationary pressures and as such a recalibration of confidence from that summer peak. I think the new news that we're seeing is that while there was an anticipation around these inflationary pressures, particularly coming from raw materials and supply chain, it's really that skills shortage that we're seeing affect the economy right now. And while organizations are still looking at hiring and recruitment as a key lever as they rotate, actually reskilling and making sure that we have the right skills in the economy to fuel growth is going to be critical.
Dig a little bit deeper into the staffing picture in Europe. I read in the report that the European private sector companies signaled ongoing plans to raise their staffing levels over the next 12 months, but they have scaled back their expectation relative to the June levels. What should we read into that from a staffing perspective?
Yeah, so employment expectations have dropped, but those hiring intentions, as you say, are still at their peak, in fact, since 2015. So we are still in positive territory. Now, those concerns around skill shortages and challenges within recruitment are particularly for skilled staff rather than entry level, with the added challenge of wage rises because we are seeing a shift towards a supplier's market. Now, lockdown has made training harder, and there are tighter visa rules that are impacting EU workers. So it is key to reskill, and particularly areas such as supply chain, sales and marketing, digital, cloud, data and analytics. We are seeing show particular pinch points, just given the role that technology is playing in the recovery too. So leaning in to those areas is going to be crucial.
UK firms, meanwhile, signaled the greatest expectations for a rise in staff costs in this latest report. What does that say about wage pressure in the UK versus Europe? And do we have insight as to why the staffing situation is more acute here in the UK than it is on the continent?
Yeah, well, I think we are seeing, as I said, some challenge around tighter visa rules for EU workers, and that's certainly playing out within the UK. I think as well we've seen, because of the confidence levels, a fairly rapid rotation actually within UK business. I mean, we are fresh from COP, and I just heard your segment there, but that has shown a much broader COP than we've seen in previous years, a greater partnership between business society and the government. And we are seeing a stimulation of jobs, particularly in infrastructure and the green sector, which also organizations have to lean into. So thinking about skills, wage inflation, the kind of growth areas that British business is going to have to focus on to fuel that recovery, there are many dynamics playing out over the next year or so.